The first step to starting to plan your essay is deciding on the writing option you're going to be using. Remember, for this response, you have two different options. The first option is to pick two different elements and discuss how they are used in each story and how they enhance the meaning of each story. The second option is to pick the same literary element for your entire essay, and in each paragraph, give two examples of how it's used in the story and how it enhances the meaning of the story. So for the first option, you're picking two. If you look at the example, it says discuss how setting and symbolism is used in El Diablo and the Cat and the Coffee Drinkers. The second one focuses just on setting, but gives two examples of how setting is used in each body paragraph. So before you do anything, you need to decide which writing option you are most comfortable with. The next step is going to be to write your thesis statement. But first, what the heck is a thesis statement? A thesis is the main claim you will be making in your essay. Basically, what is the response about? Your thesis is what you're trying to prove. It's a statement that restates and answers the prompt. Here are some tips. Use the keywords from the prompt. You already underlined them yesterday when you cubbed the response. Go back and look for those keywords. You're going to save your thesis and you're going to use it as the last sentence in your introduction. This is where it always goes every time you write an essay because it sets the reader up for what to expect in the rest of the body paragraph. Here's an example of a well-written thesis statement. In the text, both authors enhance the meaning of the story through the use of symbolism and the development of setting. Obviously, I've chosen the option where I'm talking about two different literary elements in both stories. My thesis makes that very clear, and now the reader knows what to expect as I start the next body paragraph. Let's take a closer look at developing your thesis statement. So remember that your thesis statement is going to go in the last sentence of your introduction, and it's essentially just telling the reader what your essay is about. However, please avoid saying, my essay is going to be about. We're in 7th grade now. We can write more sophisticatedly than that. Here are some thesis starters to help you if you're struggling. Both authors use blank and blank to. Literary elements like blank and blank are used in the stories too. By using blank and blank, the authors ... The meaning of both stories is blank by each author's use of blank and blank, or blank and blank is or are used to ... Now the blanks depend on which option that you pick, but essentially you need a sentence at the end of your introduction to introduce the topic to the reader. You can choose one of these stems, fill in the blanks with the words of your choice, or you may choose your own and create your own thesis statement. Once you have your thesis statement in your head, you're going to write your thesis statement on your planning organizer. You can use the last slide to help you with the starters. Couple notes about the organizer before you get to it. You're going to put the stories here that you're going to be using, the two different stories. Here's a spot to put your literary element. If you are using the same literary element, then this box and this box will have the same word in it. When you are developing your claim, the box is split into two, but really you only need one box because you only need one claim per paragraph. Your claim should state the element and explain what it adds to the story. So if you're talking about conflict, explain what the conflict adds to the story. If you're talking about setting, explain what the setting adds to the story. Next, you will give your two pieces of evidence that explain what you have said in your claim. Notice that it says quote from the text with a citation. Here's an example of what that looks like. You put the quote directly from the text, and then in parentheses, following the quote, you put the page number. This is especially important since you're talking about two different stories. We need to clarify where it's coming from. This is on your rubric, and it needs to happen. If you need help with this, see me. Finally, the commentary box is just like it always is. Two sentences explaining and connecting back to your claim. So you have the rest of the time today to write your thesis statement and begin your planning organizer. You're going to finish the planning organizer for homework, and tomorrow we will start drafting our body paragraph. Good luck!